Hello and welcome to GPTV on Thursday the 9th of May. I'm Gary Peary in Caulfield North, Melbourne, Australia.
And I'm Philip Kingston, and geez, Gary, it's smoking hot here in Bali. Couldn't put my jacket on because it's just so hot here. It's just beautiful.
Getting a bit sweaty there, aren't you?
I know, but very nice here, Gary. How's it over there?
Yeah, it's pretty good. You've got some nice colour too. It's a bit white and pasty in Melbourne, but you've got some lovely colour.
Viewers, big episode today because we've at the back end of this show, we've got the full interview with Tegan Cunningham, the star from Melbourne Football Club,
number one.
the women's footballer, the AFLW.
Yep. And you're going to enjoy that. So we're going to get very quickly through this weekend's
Did you
auctions.
like the hoo-ha, by the way, that came out a couple of months ago? Because it's the AFLW, right? AFL Women's. And then there was talk about there should be the AFWM.
AFL, yeah, that's right.
Which I think is completely sensible. And yet there was a cry from all of the people that said, no, it's the AFL, we can't do that. And yet what those idiots forget, that the AFL used to be the VFL. So they had no problems going from VFL to AFL, but now to go to AFLM is like some heretic activity.
I'll tell you what I love. I love that they're the sort of problems that we have in Australia. You know, I mean, isn't it great when they're the sort of headlines we've got? There are issues, you know, like where you are at the moment in Bali. You know, there's been all sorts of terrible things that have happened historically.
Nothing terrible happening in Bali, Gary.
No, it's not true. I got Bali Billy. I got sick over there.
That's true.
I got sick over there. There was the bombings, of course. No, but if you think about the problems of the world, there are our problems in Australia. This is the best country.
Well, if you think about it, Gary, there's a cyclone in Bangladesh at the moment that is creating havoc with millions of people. In fact, I saw that just before the cyclone, they relocated, imagine doing this, relocated 1 million people before the cyclone hit. And what do we worry about in Melbourne? AFLW, AFLM.
Yeah, exactly. And we worry about...
How lucky are we?
We're very lucky. And we worry about our auctions for the weekend, Philip.
Best country of the world to live in, viewers. I defy you to name me another country of the world that is a better, safer, cleaner, happier place.
And when you meet people that come and migrate here from the Middle East or from Europe, you know, and we speak to them, and I love speaking to new migrants and saying, look, tell me what
your experience... You love speaking to new migrants. You do a lot of that, don't you, Gary? I mean, you go down to Port Melbourne, don't you, waiting for the boats to come. Is that where you think they are? Waiting for the boat
You're showing me you're in touch side now.
You go down there with welcome signs, don't you?
Because they're coming into Port Melbourne, aren't they?
Well, okay, so you go to Melbourne Airport and you've got welcome signs and you're there with the GPTV microphone
lots of languages
in the arrivals hall interviewing new migrants.
I'm prepared to do that. I do that. Hey, how about that?
So go ahead with the story.
The one that you shut me down and made illegitimate and ridiculous. How about that bloke that was bidding, by the way? Right off the track. He was at the auction in Glencoe Street. Garrel Street.
Yes.
And he said to you he spoke 5 different languages.
A guy from Belgium.
Yeah, Belgium. We don't speak a lot of
people. He spoke Flemish.
Yes, he did.
French.
Yes.
German.
Yes.
English.
Yes.
And Spanish, I think.
No, Portuguese. Yeah, Portuguese, which is the number one language in Brazil, which we didn't know.
It's the number one language at Nando's.
He gave you an education, didn't he? Exactly right. You know, how do we get so far off the track? Yeah, I like it when you speak to new people that come to the country and they say, you know, I like the best thing that the news here is about the football scandal or Brenda Favola, you know, was looked at her the wrong way or something. Isn't it great? Let's talk about the auctions this weekend.
We are a lucky country and we are blessed to live in the best city of the best country of the world.
Hey, Phil, auctions this weekend. Yes. Jeremy Rosens is our only auctioneer on this Saturday. Wow. He's doing all 4 auctions. He's going to be starting off in Clarence Street, Philip, auctioning this terrific property.
Gary, it is a terrific property. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom and a car space. And what a great location. Good opportunity to get into the marketplace.
That's for sure. He's going to be meeting Idan Goodman and the team there in Walleye Avenue for this stunning, sparkling brand new property.
Gary, brand new brilliance, 4 bedrooms, not 1 bathroom, not 2, not 3, but 3.5 bathrooms and a lock-up garage, everything that opens and shuts. It's magnificent and should go well.
It should go well indeed, Philip. On Saturday, we are closing out at 1:30. Jeremy Rosen's a busy boy. His 4th auction right in his heartland, Philip, in Carlisle Street, St Kilda.
Gary, what a great redevelopment. This was built, I believe, by Icon Constructions. This is a wonderful apartment of 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom and a security basement car space. A great development there, Gary, and really there's so much to love about that development. Walking distance to both Carlisle Street, Ackland Street, Fitzroy Street. and of course the great shops in Brighton Road, Elwood.
Now, Phil, just a hop, skip, and a jump around from our Caulfield office, a little bit further for you from Bali, is 347 Alma Road, our only auction on Sunday. I have the auction honours and I'm looking forward to it.
Gary, corner of Kooyong Road, so a high-profile position there, a really good property of 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and a lock-up garage, and obviously that's kind of the epicentre, if you like, Gary, of 3 suburbs, because it's Caulfield North.
Yes.
Across the road on one side you've got Armadale and Malvern, so great location there.
Great location and very affordable, Phil. To think you can buy a house, freestanding house on its own block of land, that very low ones, I think that represents great value. Hey, talking about landmark locations, there's a new cafe that you've just been to.
Gary?
Not in Bali, but here back in Melbourne. Tell us about that.
So this is at the intersection of Orong Crescent and Alma Road, and it's common ground,
Maybe we should go and do an interview there with the...
well, I think we should, because he seems like a very nice guy, the guy that's opened it. But what a great cafe. I've had a couple of coffees there and a lunch. It's open till 10 o'clock. This is not a commercial for that property, that place, but because we love local businesses, we're happy to give it a plug. But certainly a welcome addition to the landscape.
Open till 10 o'clock.
Open till 10 o'clock at night, and it's licensed. So it means that, a client can ring Gary, and the conversation could go like this.
Why would they ring Gary?
No. Just work with me. Okay. Hey, Gary, I'm going to be coming past the office at around 6 o'clock tonight, and I wouldn't mind signing up my house with you, to which you would say, hey, Phil, why don't I meet you at common ground where we could do this over a glass of wine and some olives and some feta.
Yes, and we'll find common ground there. But it's difficult to do that while you're in Bali, isn't it?
It is, Gary.
How am I going to do it while
I
you're
am
in Bali?
having a lovely time here in Bali, viewers, and I've got to tell you that it's a tough gig, this one, but somebody's got to do it. But the reason I'm here is really about just getting fresh and ready for the spring selling carnival, which was not that long away.
No, it's not that long away, Phil. We're getting into it, and I think we're going to have a very busy winter too, just quietly. I know that we've got some wood properties coming up in June, we've got a full May, and we're starting to list for July.
Do you know the scary part about what I just said, Gary, is that if you are thinking of selling this year, you're starting to think about a spring campaign.
You are. Or if not, winter, late winter.
Viewers,
there's nothing wrong with that.
I would urge you to watch the interview that we're going to close with, which is the interview with Tegan Cunningham from the Melbourne Football Club, because it's a window not into football but into women joining the gladiatorial sport of AFL.
Nicely put, Phil. We're looking forward to this one. Please stay on and watch the show. That's a big wrap. We're back next week. You won't be, Phil, but I'll be back next week with GPTV with a co-anchor. You just keep soaking up that sun and enjoying, Phil. And that's a big wrap on GPTV on this Thursday. Happy birthday to Jeremy, my nephew, on the 9th of May. That's a big wrap. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Philip Kingston. I am enjoying Bali. You enjoy Melbourne's cold.
Bye now. Well, how good is it to be here with Tegan Cunningham from the Melbourne Football Club. Welcome, Tegan. Great to have you on board. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Now, you are here in a number of capacities, but most exciting of everything you've achieved in your life, your greatest achievement is you've just bought a property.
I have.
Congratulations.
How
good is that in Armadale? We didn't tell you beforehand that Philip is a few streets away, so we waited till the cooling off period was over, because now you can't get out of the sale. But congratulations. How was your experience as a buyer of real estate?
Quite really easy. It was awesome. I'm very excited.
Were you looking for long?
I was for a good while. Just trying to find the right one. You got to feel it when you walk in. You got to feel that vibe. It was perfect. I love it.
Is this your first purchase?
Correct.
Okay, so welcome to the world of real estate ownership.
Mortgage life.
Home buyer grant. I think you're going to get the first home buyer's grant. If you're going to move, that helps for sure. And Maxine looked after you.
She did. She was fantastic.
She's a good lady, isn't she?
Awesome.
So you've been successful in your first property purchase. So we're ticking a whole lot of boxes.
Why have you got glasses in your hand? What's that about?
Because it makes
me look intellectual.
So you've been highly successful in the purchase of real estate.
Yep.
But no success at the Melbourne Football Club.
Come on, let's cut
straight through to this interview. And just to
we're talking about the women's or the men's team?
Just to declare, viewers, you all know that I'm a long-suffering Melbourne supporter. And given the fact that this is a cutting-edge show, Tegan, we were inundated with requests from all of the stars at the Melbourne Football Club men to come on this show. And we basically said no to all of them, even though Simon Goodwin did play at our golf day and hit a hole in one.
He did get a hole in one.
Just so you know that. But anyway, we've said no to the men because this is a cutting-edge show, Tegan. This is about breaking down the stereotypes. So we've invited you on the show because you are a a woman and you are a female footballer.
And she's a champion sports person. And let's just talk a bit about what you've been doing, because before football there was basketball, and there's still basketball today. Is that right?
Basketball today.
And look, some people, some ignorant people, I'm not one of them, of course, want to know about the season of football. And firstly, let's just talk about how did you get into football?
Oh, hang on a second. No. I'm not. What I'm interested in. What I'm interested in knowing, because you never ever get an opportunity to ask a woman the question that I'm about to ask you.
I'm scared.
Because when do you have an opportunity in the normal world to have a woman sitting beside you and say, Tegan, can you just tell me your height and your weight? Because seriously, this is fascinating. Because when you walked into
we just ask generic questions.
Because when she walked into the room, because all of the male stats are available. You know, you look at if you're a fan, you can look at your favourite star and you know that he's X number of centimetres tall, what his weight is, what his arms are. So how tall are you?
I'm 6 foot.
6 foot, so 186 centimetres. 180 centimetres. And what do you weigh?
72.
Are you telling the truth?
Me too. Depends. Are we talking pre-season or are we talking post-season?
So your playing weight is 72
around
kilos?
that. Yeah, I probably should be a little bit bigger, just in the sense of like putting on a bit of weight muscles.
Right. And how does that sit in terms of the league? How that stat, is that a normal stat? Are you? I'm one of the tallest in the league. Probably one of the leanest as well. Most of the girls are probably a bit more. Got a bit more muscle on them. So I probably definitely need to put on a few kilos.
Now, these are very superficial questions.
No, Gary. I think the viewers are actually interested in knowing about women.
Let me ask you something about makeup. Do you wear makeup when you go on?
I don't. No.
Do any women footballers wear?
I think some of them do. Like I'm a firm believer. Look good, feel good, play good. So
because he wears makeup on our show.
Every week.
So I'm wondering, he wears and to auctions. So I'm just wondering whether you wear makeup as well when you perform.
I think I put on a little bit for this. So lucky.
Well, you don't need it. He does. There's another difference there. So can we just get a bit of background understand? So you get into football. It's been going for how long? The Australia.
It's been 3 years. The league started.
Okay, and you've been in it for 2.
2 years.
And do you get to how do you get to play for Melbourne?
So it was actually funny. I was playing basketball at the time, and Melbourne's list manager Todd Patterson was at my basketball game. And after the game, he sent me a Facebook message. Technology these days.
Yeah, blokes do that when they watch female players.
No, he's married.
Swipe left or
No, he's married to a former teammate of mine.
The plot thickens. We'll dig a bit more there. Go on.
She got delisted, so that's pretty sad now. Anywho, and then he sent me a message after the game saying, do you have any interest in playing footy? And I have an older brother, Michael, who naturally, I think growing up threw a football at me every chance he got. So I kind of knew how to kick and handball. I understood the game from watching, but never had played myself. So my first AFL game was literally the first AFLW game, round 1, 2017.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Now, one thing I do understand, I've learned because I've looked into this, that they basically give the jumper on the ability of the player, right? So whoever the best player is, because no, understand. So what's your number?
Number 1.
Oh, just there you go. So there you go.
How was that taking number 1? Did that come with a whole lot of pressure?
How did that go? So first game, number 1 on your back straight away. That's no pressure there.
It's my basketball number. So
right?
it's easy. I like in the change room. You're always first, so you're not next to 2 people. I like being against the wall.
And when people can't count, they can just start there. They don't need to go past.
And the rule was number 1 in your programs, number 1 in your heart. So that's like the motto of number 1.
Off camera, Tegan, we were talking about money. Because this is a real estate show, and real estate shows kind of money's a central theme. And I wanted to just highlight how crap the AFL is, because I'm a massive believer in the AFL needs to reinvent itself. I'm not sure about your opinion on that. I'm not asking for that yet. But you talked to me about payment for AFL women, that there are 4 tiers.
Correct.
So when the lowest tier is 4, 3, 2, and 1 is the number 1 tier. And you were telling me, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're a tier floor player, it's $14,000 per season. And if you're a tier 1 player, the AFL have generously given their star female players that are tier 1 $21,000 or $22,000.
Yeah, it's kind of gone up every year. It's hard to justify exactly what the figure is, and I don't really pay too much interest in it. I'm generally doing it for the love of the game. I don't really.
Hang on a second. So you're doing it for the love of the game, unlike the men who are in it totally for the money.
Well, they're not totally in it for the money. It's like real estate. So we're in it for the love of it. Well, we are in this market anyway. But we used to do it for money as well. We get that.
I mean, I think the difference was coming from basketball, the WNBL. We weren't paid a lot anyway. So for football, it's it's kind of they're actually probably ahead of basketball in the scheme of things, which is for some of these girls it feels weird. But I've been through the whole WNBL and not in it a lot, so I guess it's a little bit different.
It's not people's entire income, generally speaking. It's supplements in income. But
having said that, it's a massive commitment, isn't it? You can't play at an elite level.
That's probably the biggest thing. It's a year-round commitment when we're technically contracted for only the 5-6 months that we're there. But realistically, if you want to be the best, you're training all year round.
So I have a view that the AFL is not doing the right thing by the Women's League by paying them as little. Now, you might not be able to comment on that only because the heads of the AFL are watching the show. Of course they do. But essentially, I think it's a joke because if you think about how much publicity the women's division is now bringing to the game, and it's proving to be really popular. I think it's embarrassing how little you get paid. Now, it's great that you're doing it for the love of it. But if you think in terms of this whole gender equality, we've got men who, correct me if I'm wrong, but the minimum a man can get paid is something like $250,000 now.
No, it's not as high.
It is.
No, it's not as high.
So what is it?
I think it's less than that.
Yeah, it'd be...
Take it easy. It's less than
that. What do you think it is, Mr. Football?
He's not that professor. Get away from money. I want to talk about what Tegan said.
Off camera, our producer is now, I can see him now at the corner of my eye, Googling what is the minimum payment, and he's going to come back with us.
I want to talk about, because Tegan asked us, because obviously she saw us for the first time and knew we were athletic types. So she asked me if we played football, right? Where we played. And then you said yes, and then she said about how many disposals you had.
Because you did say you played midfield.
So I just want to talk about what Philip did, because he did go footy training, right? And he actually did have one disposal.
This is true story.
This is true story. He did have one disposal, and that was his lunch, because he threw up his entire lunch behind a tree, and that was the end of it. That's the last time he was involved in footy.
Right, so there you go.
True story. A bit of a legend. He was from Cootamundra.
Legend.
Any good footballers come from Cootamundra?
No, but a lot of good footballers came from Wagga. In fact, Wayne Carey came from Wagga.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Look what happened to him.
He's doing good now.
He's been rehabilitated.
So ignorant people, when's the season start and finish?
Well, four new teams coming in next year.
How many teams are there now?
So there's 10.
Okay.
No,
yes.
12.
12, okay. 12. Yep.
10 the first year, 12. Okay. 2 got introduced last year, Geelong and North. So then 4 more teams will come in, so there'll be 16.
Okay.
So if they stick to the conference system, which is what they did last year, there'll be 8 in each conference, I do believe. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
And who is your toughest competitor now out there? Which team is... who won?
Adelaide. They're a very, very good team. They'll be great for a few years. And I think it comes back to they've got no one to compete against. If you look at Victoria, we have... I don't know, 6 teams in Victoria that are all playing AFLW, whereas Adelaide have the one, so it's a little bit more filtered, I guess.
The whole state, don't they?
Yeah.
So I want to talk more about this whole female gladiator story that is emerging. I mean, the publicity is all about gladiatorial women, of which really, if you think about it, men are unused to seeing women as gladiators, and I call the game of football a gladiatorial sport because it's a contact sport. Have you been cleaned up, yes, or have you cleaned somebody up?
I have been cleaned up. One of my first few games, I got concussed and I broke my nose, and I was going out of the 50 leading out to market, and a girl to the left, Brisbane, came across and took me out.
On purpose?
No, I don't think so.
What position do you play?
Forward.
Forward, okay.
So the front end, kick goals.
Me too,
The glory end.
Of course,
so I was leading out, she came across, and we both cleaned each other up.
So broke your nose? Knocked you out?
Yeah, I believe so.
Stretched?
No, ran off.
So tough.
So tough. With my trainers, did the concussion test, failed that. So I was concussed. But I was fine to play the next one.
And tell me, you see the blokes, right? And let's talk about the Carlton North Melbourne game last weekend, where what was the guy from Carlton that was knocked out?
Liam Jones.
That was pretty savage and pretty brutal. And did you notice that?
That was an accident. It was absolutely legitimate.
Okay, it was fair, but it was seriously full on.
Sure.
Did you notice that it was just part and parcel of the game, right? Guys completely flattened. A couple of people go over to him, but everybody pretty much holds their position. When that happens to a woman, do they all fuss over you?
No, it's funny though, because in basketball, if something happened, everyone runs over to you. But in football, the game's still going. So I was taken out, and I'm on the ground with the other girl, and then the ball's going, everyone's running with the ball. And I was like, this is weird.
Right.
And then they finally stopped play when it went out of bounds or something. So
they don't fuss over you?
No, I was in shock.
Do any of the women rush over to clean things up?
No. Oh, no, they didn't.
Right.
It was a weird feeling. They definitely.
Okay, so with the whole equality now with men and women, are we going to see men and women play together on the same team, like against each other?
No,
don't think that's going to happen.
How do you feel? How do you feel? There was How do you feel about the time when women played in lingerie? There was a time.
Yeah, that's
right.
It's funny though. Like at the end of the day, we're females, and sex does sell. And I may get some haters from this or whatever, but it does. And you want your females to look good. Like you do. It's part of it. And like same with us with guys. Like the guys look in
so
the best
you'd
shape
like
they
blokes to play in just G-strings?
Sure. I mean, they've all got good rigs.
Well,
so.
they do.
Good rigs. Spoken like a true footballer.
I don't think there's any shame in finding someone attractive.
Tegan and I are looking at you going, geez, you've got a massive rig, Gary.
I didn't think you noticed, but it took Tegan to bring it back to the forward, which is fine.
Yeah. So, but there was a time when they did play in. This is how crazy the world is.
It wasn't so long ago. No, I think it might still go on there. Was it ever going to be in Melbourne, the AFL, in lingerie on the AFL?
I don't think
What about for men in lingerie? Could we do that?
No.
Okay, we're getting ridiculous.
I mean, the jerseys, you think about at least like the jerseys sake, they're getting tighter and tighter every year. Like, it's funny, when I first played my first game of footy, I remember getting my jersey, everyone's like, what size do you want? And I'm like, I want it to be baggy, like basketball, we wear baggy singlets. Yeah. So I'm like, extra large, and I get it. And it was like somewhat baggy. Yeah. And then all these girls are like skin tight jerseys. I'm like, what is going on here? It's just a completely different world. They want to be tight.
So this was my segue into talking about the famous photograph.
Yeah. Taylor, is it Taylor Harris?
Taylor Harris.
Yeah. And she's Carlton Player, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. Yep.
So when I saw that photo, and you've got to understand, Tegan, I am a very red-blooded, masculine man, right? So I know that's what you were thinking from the moment you walked in. In fact, it was kind of embarrassing, the sexual tension between the two of us. But I know, it's probably steaming on camera. Even the viewers can see this tension.
We just put the air conditioner on, Phil.
But when I saw that photo, the first image in my mind was not a sexual image. I looked at that photo and I thought,
fantastic athlete.
Wow, what an athletic photo.
Amazing.
So what's the whole noise about
that's my question. What was the reaction with the female players to the storm that unleashed?
Well, I think it was just like so many male players put up a photo exactly the same, and no one criticises them or said anything.
What was it all about? What were people going on about? What was it?
It was just like
because the shorts were open and technically you could see her nether regions that we can't talk about on camera. Aka her vagina.
It's just quite exposed. I think the whole picture, she was quite exposed.
Yeah, but it wasn't really. It was just the suggestion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it probably opened people's thoughts up to got a bit crazy.
Got a bit excited and carried away.
I think Darcy Moore put up a photo of him doing the exact same kick. Yeah. It's like nothing. It's just funny that because it's a female and Taylor's a great athlete. Like she's amazing.
Look, it was an extraordinary photo of athleticism. As I say,
when trolling about what some
the trolls came out. I mean, the people are crazy.
And people just sit behind the computer and.
But what I suppose I'm trying to ask is what was the reaction from the players?
What does everyone think? What do the women think?
We were just probably disappointed that it's taken a photo like that for people to say stuff. Like it's like Taylor's a great athlete and we all respect her a lot on the football field. So there's just no need for it. It's just why.
So having said all of that though, and this is the marketer in me now, so I saw that photo and I thought the storm that it created, what a brilliant marketing coup for the AFL. Because if you think about it, women's football is a developing sport and there is a kind of sexy nature to this gladiatorial concept of women. So I thought it was marketing genius. Yeah. And I reckon it was the AFL directors that actually were the trolls.
To
set the storm up.
More attention, you think so?
Yeah, maybe boost up those followers.
Now, I want to get to some practicalities because you're going crazy. Tell us about the season. What's the period of time and when does it start and end?
So pre-season officially starts in November. This is based on last year and it will change slightly. Okay. November, and then our first game is always the first weekend of Feb.
How many rounds?
So we played 7 rounds.
Okay, and so the finals are in...
Yep, so there was 2 conferences. The top 2 of each conference play a crossover, so 1 versus 2.
What's a conference mean? I go
so there's 2 conferences.
I'm sitting with a glass of pina colada. Mojito somewhere, you know.
So conference A, conference B, they just split up the league, so we don't play everyone because they want to. So AFL are quite adamant to keep in the window that it's in because there's no other sport during that time. So
it's pretty intense, isn't it? 7 games.
Yeah. So you can't really drop. Yeah, so top 2 teams.
So if you lose your first game, it's all the best. See you later.
It's kind of tough,
And now you barrack for
Carlton. I
Oh, you can't play for Melbourne and Barrack. How does that work?
She's in the perfect situation between us two.
I know.
You know what? Look, she plays with you, but she barracks for us. And tell me, when you play Carlton women's, well, are you conflicted at all?
No, I love my team.
You want to win, of course you do.
I'm just
and how do you get to be playing for Melbourne? What's the process to actually get selected?
Yeah, so I had that a basketball game where the list manager contacted me, and then I went and had a kick with him. I obviously did a little bit impressing, I guess. He liked what he saw, and I guess during the first few years of AFLW, it was kind of finding athletes from other sports to fill it up. If you had to base it just on football, there wasn't enough talent. So they definitely went out to search for other sport code.
Have they found many in basketball? Is there
there is a fair few of ex-WNBL girls that are playing.
As same with the men's. I mean, it's been a recruiting ground for a lot of the stars.
Definitely. Like Scott Pendlebury's was an amazing basketballer. I think he went to the AIS as well. So
what was that Melbourne player? Stefan, he's now playing up in Brisbane. Can't remember his name.
Oh, I don't know.
He's done pretty well for Brisbane, ex-Melbourne. He was a Chambers. He was a famous...
He crossed over and played football.
He was a great Melbourne player. Were you a natural athlete growing up?
Yeah, I definitely was.
Right. What was your preferred sport as a kid?
Oh, definitely basketball. But in saying that, we didn't really have the choice. It was kind of basketball.
The season's different? The season times are different? Or do you have to play one night, like football today and basketball the next day?
No. So AFLW I commit to for those that 6 months, and then I go back to basketball now and just play in the state league. I still train with football once a week during this time, just so I don't lose any of my...
So Gary's job on this show is to ask you the really serious, cutting-edge questions.
Mine, off the grid. I'm
a man of the masses, Tegan, right? So I kind of...
So what you got for me now?
So, Nathan Jones, very happily married, gorgeous little kids.
Yeah, beautiful.
You and Nathan having something on the side? No, I asked this because I'm kind of looking at them and going, clearly this is...
No, we haven't got a tat together. Maybe I should suggest that.
So are we going the other arm as well?
No, just the one arm for me, I think.
Anything symbolic there that we should talk about on the show?
No, everywhere I've played basketball, I've got a tat. So I just I'm waiting for us to win a premiership at Melbourne so I can get a Melbourne tattoo somewhere.
I'm thinking of doing that with addresses. I'm putting every street outside. Pretty good.
Tell me, speaking of that though, because there's a lot of ladylike looking players, I've noticed that. Are they a bit intimidated when you flash your tats and you're coming at them? Is it really just to psych them out?
Oh, I think so. It's a bit of you think I'm going to be all this tough girl, and then do you get to know me and I'm probably really soft, so it's probably a little bit of a false...
but when you're on the field,
when I'm out there, it's game on.
Which brings me into my next question, because the difference between men and women is obviously large in so many ways. And for men, and I know that I'm like this, Gary less so, but we have an instinctive desire to be hard and protective, and sometimes the male condition, we don't contain ourselves with our anger nearly as well as women. So I think the AFL's had to work very hard at having men stopping punching each other on the ground. Tell me about the female aggression in competitive sport.
Do we go out in the field and you'll know that person's a total psychotic maniac on the next team?
So the question is, are there psychotic maniacs like there are blokes?
I think everyone's competitive. There's that white line fever. I think if you have it, you have it.
But are the women, are they as naturally, at competitive level?
When you drive down Carlisle Street, you see some pretty aggressive women in the cars there.
I'm not going to go recruit them.
This is actually a serious question though, because do women have that aggression to wanting to hit each other?
Oh, probably not hit each other. we are nice, and I think that's the hard thing with female sport is that, you watch the men's training, they're critique each other, they're really hard, and whereas we're probably a bit more
your nail polish is a little bit out, or you need a bit of a waxing there.
It's probably understanding that at this level, if you want to be the best, you've got to take the criticism. And I've always had male coaches through basketball, and they were quite hard on me. So I'm probably a bit more of a tough love kind of girl. Tell me as it is. I want to be the best I can be, so give it to me raw. Whereas some of these girls, you have to be a little bit more sensitive. And I think that's just that balance with females and sport and understanding that everyone's different. And so with men, I'm sure there's some guys that...
But coming back to this female-male thing, is there any part of the coaching pre-game which would be, you need to rough that person up? There is, because that happens in the male side.
You tag that person and get in their face.
But is there ever any talk about putting that person down?
I wouldn't say, is it a dog we're putting down?
No, but it's a male thing, They know that they've got to...
Yeah, I think we'd identify the nut of the team. There might be a bit of a nutty it that we'll try and get in their head early. They might help. They'll dictate what happens with that team. So we can get in their head early, get them out of the game, then hopefully we'll win.
And let me ask you a question, Tegan. We're Teagues now. So let me ask you a question here.
The Teagmeister. Some of our viewers now, Teagush, which is...
We'll just say Teagues. Let me ask you this. You played where? The MCG?
Marvel.
Marvel?
Yeah.
What's the biggest crowd you played in front of?
Yeah, Marvel was big.
How many?
I think Casey we get a few, like 5,000.
And do you look around and see 5,000 people? Is it that moment, because you focus on the game, is there a moment where you just look up and you sort of see people in the stand?
It's amazing. And it's just such a big arena. And I guess for me, I played college basketball, and college is such a different environment.
You're in the States? College
I did 4 years. 2 years at a junior college in Kansas and 2 years at Oklahoma State University.
Oh, okay. So you're a serious player.
So Collingwood player. He went to the same school.
That's right.
Really? Did you know him back then?
I knew his brother really well. Right. So now we're really good mates. But
he seems like the coolest guy.
Oh, he's awesome.
Ever.
Top guy. Awesome. So Oklahoma State, we have a big rival with OU, Oklahoma University. So those crowds will be pretty big. And that's probably basketball's a bit more on top of rather than football's quite But Marvel was amazing to have all those supporters, and then the game before it, so there was 2 games. That was pretty special.
Wow. And let's just talk about your greatest aspiration now in football. What would be the greatest place you could go to? What would you love to see happen for you?
I don't know. I'm really tracking. I'm really happy with my life at the moment. I'm pretty lucky that I've had 7 years of WNBL, college, and then now I'm playing footy, and I'm just excited to see what life takes me. I'm just kind of riding the wave of...
You're in real estate now?
Yeah, I've got a property.
Are you moving in soon?
Hopefully in the next few weeks. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you see a time where AFL women will be a full-time profession?
Definitely. I think it'll be not for a little while, but I think it'll get there.
Right. Yep. How long do you reckon? If you were to punt? 5 years, 10 years?
I'd say 10.
Right.
Yeah. And by then the talent will be coming through, will be amazing.
And you have a lot of commitments now outside of football. Is there a lot of commitments to the team, to the club, socially, is networking?
A lot of the girls will go play VFL for Casey. I'm lucky that I go back to basketball for a little
And how long has VFL been, women's VFL been going for?
A while, a long time. I can't give you exact figures because I've never played in it. So, a long time.
And do you see the girls coming out of that and that they're skilled and experienced? Is there a difference?
Well, just from our first draft pick this year, Tyler Hanks was she's just an amazing athlete.
Because they'd have a few years on you, wouldn't
you? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm 31.
You're
31?
I'm 31.
Wow, okay. Gee, look, I thought 17, 18?
23, 22.
Please, I know. I'm an old duck.
I don't think so.
My knees definitely feel it. That's fine.
And talk about training. How often are you training for footy?
So during the season, we do Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturday mornings.
Is it full on?
Yeah, we're usually there from pretty much like 4 o'clock till 9. With that's included like training, education, weights, recovery, dinner. So they're big sessions. So it is, it's quite time consuming, but again, you do it because you love the girls and you love the culture and the club. So
and coaching and I mean, there's strict regimens around diet and lifestyle. Is there stuff like that? Is people scared about, does your coach say, look, don't go out clubbing? And
I think you have to be. If you want to be the best, you got to be the best. And I think anyone would tell you that going out and drinking probably during the preseason.
Is cocaine a big problem at the Melbourne Football Club?
No.
Right. Okay. I just wanted to make sure because there were a number of players at Melbourne, I think, that were doing it hard in recent years. Hence the stagnation of the club.
If it is, I have nothing to do with it.
Ask a stupid question.
This is now awkward.
She's playing football. She's bought a property. You're going to start going straight to coca. That's what happens.
Now, of course, if the lawyers are watching that was just a joke. So I don't want any phone calls from the legal department of the Melbourne Football Club.
Exactly. Now we've only met you for the first time. But it's so good to meet you. I was excited to hear that you bought. We all were excited. And I know Maxine came back saying, I sold to such a wonderful person, and it's great that she's on her, right on your journey now, your real estate, your financial journey, and your sporting journey. You're doing so many wonderful things. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We're so happy to have you on here. Thanks for coming out this incredible house. We're going to talk a bit about this as well. But wonderful to have you on. And we wish you well with everything. With your basketball, with your life, with your footy, and with your real estate.
Congratulations.
And if you could just spread the word around the Melbourne Football Club that if they're thinking about buying or selling, Gary, if you're an associate.
I know we are the official AFL agent already. We've made it that. We've said so. We've declared it. It's been decreed today. So that's it.
I'll let the girls know. Okay.
So lovely to have you on the show, and good luck with absolutely everything.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Tegan.
Thank you.